Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage, on a sunny Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Now it didn't start out this way. Overnight, we got about 3 inches of fluff, snow. And the forecast was for sun today, later on. And then we're headed down into the deep freeze for a few days. So I wanted to take advantage of any melting I can get because my driveway still has ice from last weekend. So I got up, did my normal stuff, fired up the old tractor, did some more lawn damage, tried to keep it to a minimum. As I was putting the tractor away, I could see blue sky and the sun peeking through, and then it snowed with the sun out for another hour. Finally, that stopped, and if you went outside now, most everything that I plowed is gone. Places where I didn't touch, in the shade, still there. So it is what it is. So today, after I did that, I got into the shop here about 10:30. I took a half an hour lunch, and it's currently almost 4 o'clock. And I did stop to talk to a guy who picked up a transmission. So let's deduct a half an hour there. But still, you do the math. That's the amount of time I spent today cleaning everything you see here. And this is not the entire transmission. The rest of it is over there. Now, I thought a good subject matter that I haven't talked about is how and why I clean things. So, if you take your car under warranty to the dealer, I was a dealership mechanic working flat rate warranty work. The technician's job is to fix the problem, and when it comes to, for instance, transmissions, their job is to determine what's wrong. Let's say you didn't have third gear. He has two options. He has to diagnose and see if it can be fixed, and he's given a very short amount of time to do that. And then you can either go in and replace the parts that are damaged, hopefully find the problem, but that's really not your focus. Your focus is to go in, fix what's wrong, make it work, get it out the door. That's just reality. If it can't be fixed, then they put a whole unit in it. So a complete rebuild is not going to happen at that level when a vehicle is new. There's just simply no time for that, to wash and clean every nut and bolt. And that on a bigger scale, so now go to your average transmission shop, they have many parts washes going all day long with much more caustic soap than I have. My soap's kind of somewhat environmentally friendly. I wouldn't want to drink it, but it does a relatively good job. And I took the time this morning, I had to add 10 gallons of water to my parts washer and a little more soap. So I guess that takes a little less time, a little time away from what I've actually accomplished today. But to me, it seems like I've been cleaning parts all day long. But in a transmission shop, it'd be nice if they had a dedicated guy doing that. It'd be a lot faster if you had somebody stripping it, somebody washing parts, and somebody assembling. You could really get it done. If I came to your house and you wanted me to assemble your transmission, that would be gravy. Today is the day I dread, the cleaning process. If you remember, this was the 68 Impala transmission with, I guess, 30,000 miles on it. And when I took it apart, inside, it's beautiful. This is the pump. Even though I've washed it, it still has ink marks on it. It's got a little rust right there. It's bare metal. That's pretty impressive. The rest of the case, and especially around the tail housing, it looks nice now, but I'm going to wager that this vehicle is not from Maine. The dirt is different. It is caked on there. It is well, maybe it has clay in it. I don't know, but it is really structural stuff. The dirt I'm used to scraping off, I go at it with this now broken scraper that I keep resharpening, and my screwdriver, sometimes this screwdriver, in the fixture over a trash can before it goes into the parts washer. After I've stripped all the guts out of the case and stripped everything out of it, I typically start with the case. And I have to, while the parts washer's warming up, if I haven't already done it, I scrape as much dirt off as possible because I'm the only one here at the transmission shop. Somebody else is probably gonna shut one machine off, drain it, clean it, and put it back. Me, I'm only one guy, so if I don't get the dirt off here, I gotta drain the machine and take it out of the machine. So, and the job comes out a lot better and it runs a lot less because the parts washer is loud. I certainly can't hear the radio. I can hardly hear myself think when it's running. Now, I love my parts washer, but like anything else, there's always a price to pay. So I had to spend a good, I'm not gonna lie, 45 minutes scraping, and I didn't think this was gonna come out as nice as it is. It has a stain here for whatever reason. There was more caked here, but it wasn't as thick. In the areas where it was thick, like down around the pan rails and the bell housing, this had a more oily dirt on it. It did a great job preserving it. Back here, it was thinner, and I guess it was probably exposed to the environment early in its life. You know, an old 68 small block Chevy probably leaks enough or vents enough oil. Over time, you get, you know, a protective layer of grit, because everywhere it was thicker, the aluminum is just like new. I can see some hieroglyphics here that I really can't figure out. It says 162 and some original markings, and I'll take you around. I always say that, but sometimes I forget. This is a CD code transmission on the tag, and in yellow paint right over here on the passenger side bell housing is the yellow is still there. It says CD, plain as day. So I don't typically get cases that are this well preserved, but this one is. But every gasket surface, the pump gasket, the tail housing gasket, the pan gasket, I haven't got it 100% perfected yet. It was absolutely baked on there. So maybe, obviously this vehicle's in really nice shape. Came from a warmer climate too, where the dirt got baked on, and so did the gaskets. So in my, it's not a Rotojet, but it's that style parts washer. I'll show you that too. You've seen it before, but I'll show you again in case you're new. You put a few pieces in, like it'll take the transmission case, and I can get the tail housing in there. And you know, it spins around, you close the door, it's spraying jets of hot water while it's spinning around. It gets almost to a boiling point. It's probably right below boiling. You can hear it really gurgling in there when it gets up to temperature. And time-wise, it has an hour timer, but I just go left and put it on hold and run it as long as I see fit. And in this case, the case probably took 3 hours with the tail housing while I worked on other pieces. Trying to get it to the point where everything you see here is clean. What you don't see is the internal parts. And I'll show you those too in case you've never seen a pile of parts before. But those parts, I don't want to put in the parts washer because it almost gets them too clean. I do the front half of the pump because I'm going to paint this and I want as much oil off this as possible. And on this side, I will spray it with anything, WD-40 or something, because I never know how long a transmission is going to sit around before somebody uses it. In this case, they're going to put it right in and probably get right after it, but that's why I like to wash the internal parts in this parts washer, which has a solvent, which has oils in it, and it's not going to rust. So all the internal parts will get washed by hand in here, and same with the control pieces, the governor and the valve body. I'll wash those by hand. I don't want to put them in the aqueous parts washer. Big word. So different perspective. All the parts you see here will get washed in the solvent tank. The internal parts aren't as dirty. They're not exposed to dirt and the elements. So as a rule, they're a lot easier to clean. I recently put my parts washer on wheels. This is the first time I'm able to wheel it over close to the bench. It's going to be really handy. Close-up shot of the case, and that's where it says CD, same as on the tag. And my EnviroQuip automatic parts washer. I wonder what the automatic part is, because I had to do all the work. I'm knocking stuff down in the background here. But inside, that's a relatively small tray. It's got pretty decent height, and the roof opens up for putting like an engine block, using an engine crane to set stuff in. So, and I have baskets to put small parts in. The dipstick belongs to the Impala transmission. The rest of the stuff does not. So, watching the clips I've already shot, I have to make a few corrections, because every video, like I say, it comes pre-installed with at least one or two mistakes. In this case, the technician at the dealership, I said he, and I've actually worked with a lot of she technicians, so gender, once again, doesn't matter. If you're good at your job, that's all that matters. And also, what I meant to say is it's nice when you work at the dealership, flat rate, under the gun all the time, if you can actually find the cause of the problem. You're going to see the problem and attempt to fix it, but it'd be sure nice to prevent it from happening again. Is that the focus, or is it just to get it out of warranty? So that is a dilemma. If they gave the technicians more time, I guarantee every one of them wants to find the cause. But make of that what you may. So that's it today. Tomorrow I get to start the assembly process. That's a lot more fun. So I guess I'll cover that. See, I'd like to just slam this all together and get it done, but a lot of people have asked to see the process. I'm trying to find different ways to show the same thing, because if you go back, I guarantee everything I'm going to do I've done before, but maybe I can show it a different way. So that's the goal. But for now, have a great evening. Tomorrow's February, closer to spring. Take her easy.